Task 2 is a string handling task, so we begin by doing some input. We have to ask for a title, a forename, a surname, and a company. And in all four cases, we're going to use the input function that's built into Python in order to prompt the user and ask them, or instruct them rather, to do what to do. We'll ask them to say, enter your title, leave a space so that there's a gap between the colon and when the user starts to type. We can now take a copy of this and on each line just paste it, and we'll adjust the word. So we'll say enter your forename by the power of copy and paste, enter your surname by the power of copy and paste, and enter your company by the company name. Say company's name. Alright, so having just performed the input, we now just give a little bit of thought to the data type. In all four cases, these variables will be strings, and fortunately the input function does return a string every time. None of these are going to need to be numbers. In order to perform the output, we have two approaches we can use. One of them is to just build the input step by step and just perform the output immediately. The other alternative is to build two strings, and the first string is going to have three parts to it, and the second string is going to just be the company name. So let's go for option one, which is build it up as we go, build up the output as we go. So what we're going to do first is we're going to print the person's title. So we're going to say print the title. Now what we can do here is use the plus sign because we're going to be joining together or concatenating strings. So we're going to do the title and we're going to leave a space, and then we're going to do the first letter of the forename. So we can write forename square bracket 0, and that will only give us the first letter because it's using zero-based indexing to refer to the first character in the string. Following that, we're going to need another string character, and then we're going to do the surname. Okay, secondly then, we're going to just print the name of the company, and that's it. Okay, so we can save that. A second option would be then to sort of build two strings, then print them. So what we could do first is we could say top line equals, and then more or less steal from this part. So on the second line, there isn't really a need for this variable, but say we said bottom line, in this case it's just the company, and then we can proceed with printing the top line and the bottom line. And just for speed, I'll just copy and paste those in, but there just isn't a need for the bottom line variable at this moment. But say later we wanted to extend this or work with it slightly differently, then in that case there would be a need for it. In the interest of bringing in just some additional Python syntax, let's look at sort of a slight variation on option one, and that's build up one part at a time. So what we're going to do here is we're going to print the four variables one at a time. So we're going to just work with four print statements and just print the various parts as we go along. Let's see, sorry, I thought that copied. Control C, there we go. Okay, so let's begin by printing the person's title, but we're going to set that the end is just a space so that it produces the title followed by a space, and the space will take the place of the new line that would normally occur at the end of a print statement. We can then give the first letter of the first name and do the same parameter here where we say that the end it will be a space instead. When we print the surname, it will appear immediately after the forename followed by the space. And in this case we are happy for it to take a new line, so we don't need to put any parameter here. And finally then we can just print the company. straightforward because it will be on a line of its own. So 3 subtle variations in the syntax that could be used to solve this problem.